This evening, the Guyana Police Force still unsure as to how to police electronic motorcycles. Newlywed overseas Guyanese man killed in a horrific accident in Bath. Kaneville residents accuse a contracting company for deplorable roles in the community. In the region, Ecuador's drug war. Violence grows in country's largest city, and internationally, Chad. Climate change blamed for driving up food costs. Welcome to another broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. As electric bikes continue to be a road hazard, today Traffic Chief Superintendent Dennis Stevens stated that Guyana has no laws that regulate the use of electric bikes. Recently, the Guyana Police Force has observed a large number of these electric bikes on the roads across the country. These bikes have been getting into minor and major accidents. However, the Guyana Police Force has found it difficult to bring those responsible for fatalities and serious incidents involving these electric bikes to justice. The traffic chief noted that engagements on a possible ban of electric bikes in busy public spaces are currently ongoing.
Of course, there are some engagements with GRA. Myself had a few engagements with GRA. We are looking at see some advice what can be done. We also seek some advice from the Ministry of Legal Affairs to see what can be done. But I would say this: in many countries, those electric cycles are banned, and they're used for purpose of industrial locations to and flow within an industrial space. In Guyana, our laws does not cater for the e-motorcycle or electric motorcycle, but we are looking at other countries and see what laws they are having in place, and so we're able to arrest the situation in Guyana. But it's not advisable for persons to use it on the road because it is dangerous. Of course, because the cycle does not register, it doesn't carry insurance, it doesn't carry fitness, also revenue license.
According to Superintendent Stevens, what is worrisome is the number of children seen riding these bikes on the roadways with little knowledge of road usage.
Of course, our law indicates that a person at 16 can have a driver's license. What I observed, that persons who are below that age are using the electric motorcycle, and it's very dangerous, especially persons involved in accidents.
The traffic chief further stated that some of the electric bike users are unaware of the road traffic laws.
For example, a person who having a driver's license know that they have to drive on the left-hand side of the road, they have to overtake on the right-hand side, they have to do certain things before they drive. Most users of this category, what we call the e-cycle, they are not au fait with the laws, so that's the reason why they make mistakes, and it might be probably loss of life or serious injuries as a result.
Nevertheless, Superintendent Stevens said the Guyana Police Force would continue to look at ways to remedy the challenges posted by electric bikes on Guyana's roadways. The Guyana Police Force is investigating a horrific crash on the Berbice coast that killed an overseas-based Guyanese man who was returning from signing marriage documents in Georgetown with his wife. As the Sobers has that tragic story.
What was supposed to be a lifetime of happily ever after ended tragically for a young couple when the car they were traveling in crashed into a pole on the Bath Public Road, West Coast, Berbice on Tuesday, August 2022. Dead is 23-year-old Bishan Dure, an overseas-based Guyanese of Kaneville village, East Canji Berbice, while his wife, 19-year-old Roshni Prasad, is hospitalized nursing serious injuries. The couple had just gotten married over the weekend and were heading back to Berbice after a trip to the Guyana Post Office Corporation in Georgetown to sign the legal marriage documents. Reports are that around 3:30 p.m., the couple were in a car driven by 26-year-old Novaskar Sahadio, along with another occupant heading to Berbice along Bath Public Road. Police said Sahadio was proceeding east along the northern side of the public road when he overtook a car which was turning south into a street. The vehicle Sahadio was driving collided with the right side front bumper of the turning car. Sahadio lost control of the vehicle and sprung several times before hitting a metal pole on the northern side of the road. The vehicle subsequently came to a halt after smashing into a nearby concrete fence. The 4 passengers of the car were rushed to the Fort Wellington Hospital, where Dure was pronounced dead. The young bride and the driver were later transferred to the New Amsterdam Hospital, where they are receiving treatment. Dure's body is currently at a post-mortem awaiting a post-mortem examination. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Approximately 3,500 residents in Wakenham will now enjoy 24 hours access to water with the commissioning of a $50 million well at Nycada. President Dr. Irfan Ali told residents of Wakenham at the commissioning of the new facility that the investment in the infrastructure will also lead to the economic prosperity of families. He stated that to get Wakenham and the rest of Ghana equipped for the food production revolution, infrastructural upgrades are imperative. The president said the well is part of a wider developmental plan for the area. Additionally, investments in infrastructure include the rehabilitation of roads, sea defenses, and provisions of drainage and irrigation equipment. Some $500 million has already been expended on drainage, irrigation, and sea defense. A water treatment plant will also be constructed in Nycada to provide 100% treated water to residents. President Ali, while outlining the massive investment expected in Wakenham, announced that the government would also be investing in a 750 kilowatt solar power system to provide clean and reliable energy to the residents. The $460 million system will benefit the over 3,500 residents within the farming community. The president highlighted that this latest achievement fits into a larger strategy to build up the island with the infrastructure needed to lead in food production and ultimately bring about economic prosperity for the citizens. This system, he added, is expected to commence within 2 months. He further explained that in the next 3 years, the entire road network on the island will be done in phases. Stick around after the break. Kaneville residents accuse a contracting company for deplorable roads in the community, and a family feud turns deadly.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Clearance has a crazy sale on Friday, August 26th, where women get up to half off. Jeans, ladies' dresses, tops, working shoes as low as $3,500, and men get from 15 to 50% off. Men's shirts, Dockers trousers, polos, sneakers, shorts, men's dress shoes, and suits. And don't forget, 10% off backpacks. So remember, the sale is Friday, August 26th. Clearance, always keeping you in style. Who could stop Clearance?
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. A family altercation has ended tragically with one family member dead and another in police custody. Detectives are probing the incident, which occurred at Well Road, North Rheinfeld, that resulted in the death of 50-year-old Colin Wishart of the same address on August 20th. According to the 20-year-old suspect, who is a relative of the deceased, around 3 a.m. the now deceased man began to behave disorderly, hitting the walls of the house and disturbing the family members and surrounding neighbors. The man's behavior continued throughout the day. Around 2 p.m. that afternoon, the suspect was in the yard washing his motor car when Wishart attacked him with a cutlass. The 20-year-old managed to bar the attack with his left hand. Wishart continued to attack family members, which prompted the suspect to push him into his room to calm him down. The deceased subsequently fell onto the bed frame, hitting his head before he fell to the floor motionless. Police were informed and visited the scene, where injuries were seen on Wishart's upper left ear, forehead, and other body parts. The body is at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home awaiting a post-mortem examination. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old was arrested and is in custody assisting with the investigation. Kaneville residents are enraged, claiming that a construction company is ruining their access route. As the Sobers has more in this report.
We've prepped for this road for years. And now we get good road, and now it very much deteriorate by the contractors them who building the new scheme in Kaneville at the back here.
Residents of Kaneville, East Bandarara are furious because a construction company contracted by the government to build roads to link to the village is destroying their access roads. The residents said they had waited more than 10 years for the newly built roads. Now the heavy-duty equipment is destroying them. Headline News visited the area and spoke with several concerned and frustrated residents.
Right about now, we in Kaneville suffering because of the scheme they're building at the back. It's okay they're building the scheme, but they're building the scheme and they destroy all the roads at the back in Kaneville. Sometimes you're driving your car slanting, they break up all the roads at the back in Kaneville, they're breaking up right now. And we know that when the scheme finish, when Kaneville Road fixing back,
the truck fall overboard on the fourth field and it deteriorate the road, and they bring some builder's waste and they throw there. And it is not healthy for us who are living in Kaneville, because we have to traverse this road every day and vehicles have to swerving from vehicles and going into other vehicle lanes and accident occurring. And I think it need to come to an halt whereby it need to fix, and the truck supposed to find Diamond or some other road to come in, because we've prepped for this road for years. And now we get good road, and now it very much deteriorate by the contractors them who building the new scheme in Kaneville at the back here.
Headline News toured the area and captured footage of the roads in deplorable conditions. Drivers are forced to navigate with utmost caution while passing other vehicles in order to prevent damage to their own vehicles. A closer look at the area where the trucks traversed show the road had been broken away and is sinking quickly, which might be dangerous for drivers and soon impassable.
It don't make no sense what they're doing here. So we just asking if you come and assist we here with this road, because I have average between a month, 1 month or 3 weeks, this road ain't good for nothing no more. And nobody can use it. Everybody got to walk it from till the front for come till here. So we really punishing. So please look in and see what I can do for we.
One resident further implied that the contractors would leave waste products on the side of the road for months.
Then digging and trying to throw the stuff, all the stuff on the pathway there. When they got them remove the stuff, they said don't truck and come and remove it. So up and now, about 6 weeks ago, look terrible when the rain fall, all the mud, everything washed me up on the road. The road at the back, sir, terrible break up there, a truck slide down the road in the trench, pond the pipe, no water in the up now, you don't get no water in the area. It's really terrible. It's really terrible in Kaneville.
Residents of Kaneville are requesting the Minister of Infrastructure, Juan Egel, to look into the situation so the roads can be saved. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Climate change blame for driving up food costs, and Malaysia's ex-Prime Minister Najib jailed after appeal in one MDB case rejected.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Clearance has a crazy sale on Friday, August 26th, where women get up to half off. Jeans, ladies' dresses, tops, working shoes as low as $3,500, and men get from 15 to 50% off. Men's shirts, Dockers trousers, polos, sneakers, shorts, men's dress shoes, and suits. And don't forget, 10% off backpacks. So remember, the sale is Friday, August 26th. Clearance, always keeping you in style. Who could stop Clearance?
Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Ecuador's port and weak institutions have turned into a key transit point for hundreds of tons of narcotics earmarked for the United States, Europe, Asia, and Russia. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman tells us how drug trafficking is causing unprecedented violence in Ecuador.
It's been more than a week since an explosion destroyed the homes and the lives of many living on Calle Ocho, a street in a poor Guayaquil neighborhood.
My daughter was sleeping with her husband when they heard machine gun fire. They ran to the window when the bomb went off in front of our house.
His daughter and his son-in-law each lost an eye. The magnitude of the explosion left 17 people injured and 5 dead. Authorities suspect it was directed at a drug trafficker nicknamed Cockroach, who reportedly had already left the scene. 36-year-old Roxana Barrios died almost immediately.
My mother's body was found over there.
That explosion has been followed by 2 smaller ones this week in Ecuador's largest coastal city, where in the last year the murder rate has doubled. The government has responded by declaring a month-long state of emergency, which allows the police and the army to work together to crack down on criminal organizations linked to drug trafficking cartels. About a year ago, 2 bodies were found hanging from this bridge here in the Duran district. It marked the beginning of an escalation of violence here in Guayaquil. And since then, there have been decapitations, dismemberment of bodies of rival gang members, all of which are becoming more and more common in a country that had never seen those types of crimes before. The National Police Director of Investigations says Ecuador's geographic position is mostly to blame.
We are wedged between the world's 2 largest drug producers, Colombia in the north and Peru in the south. We've become embroiled in their logistic network as a transit country. What we're seeing are crimes that are copied from Colombian and Mexican cartels in order to generate terror and panic.
Police have identified at least 26 criminal gangs, some of them small armies, who are fighting each other for the privilege of distributing drugs from here to the rest of the world. In the last 3 days, police have confiscated more than 4 tons of pure cocaine in banana shipments that were earmarked for Europe. But that's small consolation for the people of Calle Ocho, who say the police can't control the violence, which is why they're still living in fear. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Guayaquil, Ecuador.
Internationally, farmers in Chad said climate change is affecting their harvest, contributing to an increase in food prices. Al Jazeera's Habib Morgan reports.
For years, Saleh Abubakar has owned this farm, exporting corn and other crops to provinces across Chad. But in the past few years, he says his harvests have shrunk.
In the past 3 years or so, we would plant it around the time we were expecting rains. It would rain and then stop, so some died. I lost 20 acres of the crops I planted this year because of the change in rain pattern.
Thousands of Chadians depend on farming for their livelihood. But many say they've been producing less as a result of global warming. The UN Environment Agency considers Chad among the countries most vulnerable to climate change. It's not just erratic rainfall. Chad also suffers from cycles of drought. The extreme weather means smaller harvests and lower returns for farmers. And because less produce reaches the market, prices have increased in a country where nearly half the population of 13 million live below the poverty line. Chad relies heavily on imports, and the knock-on effect of the rise in global prices can already be felt. Many people say they simply can't afford some items of food.
Prices just keep increasing every day. I used to buy a lot of food before, but now I've reduced what I buy. Some things I've stopped buying altogether.
Inflation is less than 3%, but hundreds of thousands of people earn less than $500 a year, according to the government, which says it's working to reduce costs.
The government each year sets some of its budget to buy commodities at the normal price and sell them to people who can't afford at lower prices. That's to reduce the impact of price hikes. And the government is working to support vital industries and work on getting investments to improve the economy.
People here say they hope prices go down soon so they can afford to put food on their table. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Haraz El Biar, Chad.
And finally, Malaysia's former Prime Minister Najib Razak has begun a 12-year prison sentence after the country's top court threw out an appeal over a multi-billion-dollar corruption scandal. Al Jazeera's Florence Lloyd reports.
Najib Razak is seen leaving court with a police escort. After losing his final appeal, Malaysia's former Prime Minister begins serving a 12-year prison sentence and must pay a $46 million fine. He had been found guilty in 2020 of illegally accepting $10 million from a former subsidiary of state investment fund 1MDB. His departure from court was in stark contrast to his arrival earlier in the day.
First, I'd like to thank everyone for showing up and showing me your support. I have tried with all that I can, but everything I proposed to the court is rejected.
His lawyers had attempted to postpone proceedings and even tried to have the chief judge removed, but failed. Malaysia's top court was unanimous, ruling Najib's defense was, quote, so inherently inconsistent and incredible that it failed to cast reasonable doubt on the prosecution's case. Lawyers say they have not ruled out seeking a review of the decision. Najib could also seek a pardon from the king.
Of course, we are very sad because we lost the appeal. I only say that we seek comfort and solace in the words of a great Indian jurist who said that the Almighty alone can dispense perfect justice.
Some supporters were visibly upset when the decision was announced. Analysts say the judgment will have political implications.
Not only Najib would have a sleepless night tonight, but the party to which he belonged, namely the UMNO party, would also have to ponder very carefully as to whether they would continue to align with him in terms of claiming innocence, or they would draw a clear line of demarcation between the party and him, such that, for example, the party would have a refreshed image.
The ruling will also make it more difficult for Najib to stage a political comeback. He'll lose his parliamentary seat and won't be able to contest the next election. The damage to his reputation is severe. Not only was he the first Prime Minister to lose a general election in 2018, he's the first to be convicted. Najib still faces several more trials linked to the looting of 1MDB. He has denied all charges. Florence Louis, Al Jazeera, Kuala Lumpur.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2's Headline News Updates. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.